here in Paterson, we started building to impact the city, to make this a better place to live.
Say hi.
Hi.
I remember nights when we had to use the stove to heat the house.
Been through 3 fires, 1 electrical, 2nd floor. And when you're dealing with these old homes in Paterson, it's scary. It's a scary feeling.
It's a blessing to see this become a reality for so many families.
After the revolution, Hamilton recognized that the new country needed some kind of economic stability. And powered by the waters of the Great Falls, he decided that Paterson would become a great industrial hub. And in fact, it did. So here in this corner of New Jersey, you've got this island of affluence surrounding a city that really needs help. Needs help from an industry and development perspective, needs help from an economic perspective. And certainly one of the ways that we can help spur that is to get people to live here permanently by building houses and helping them create homes.
Growing up in a Habitat home, I felt was a great experience, especially when I compared it to the experiences of a lot of kids in the neighborhood. There was a degree of stability that we had that I know was really lacking for a lot of them.
A Habitat home offers stability, which is very important for a child, and also offers good relationships. It helps them learn how to hold these relationships, which they still have today.
When Habitat started working, we went to an area where the city, quite frankly, would just give us land. And so it was the worst ward of the city, the first ward. For many years, we just started building, and it seemed we were getting tens and close to 100 families. And we started to see a neighborhood change emerging. Just here in Paterson, as we think about what we've done over the past decades, it's been tens of thousands of volunteers and hundreds of thousands of hours of volunteer work.
It was really our passion to just see ways to make a difference in our city for those who are without a decent home, especially families to have a decent home, to live with their families, and for people to be able to invest in and own that home.
And I think positive. Very shortly soon, I have something of my own thanks to the Habitat program, and I look forward to doing it for someone else.
I think it speaks to the effectiveness of this organization that they can invest in and pour into people's lives, and then empower and enable them to reciprocate that.
Habitat builds more than just a home, and also build a community, the neighborhood, to see somebody actually putting the neighborhood together as far as building one family at a time, and, building up the community as far as changing lives.
These are communities where these families were born and raised. They don't want to leave, nor should they have to, and that's the beauty of the Paterson Habitat program. Our incoming families have to contribute 400 hours of sweat equity, meaning they have to be working on a home, and it may not even be their own home that they're working on. It may be someone else's. It's not about a family coming in and worrying about themselves. It's a much larger picture.
And I think one of the important reasons here is Paterson Habitat doesn't choose to just build individual houses here or there. They have a strategy around building contiguous neighborhoods so that we're not only changing a house for a family, but we're also changing a block. And if you start focusing on more than one block, you're actually beginning to have an effect on a whole neighborhood and a whole community. And at the end of the day, creating those communities can help turn the city around.
When it comes to streets and blocks, there's a lot of apartments, apartment buildings, apartment housing. When there's homes, there's less crime, because there's a certain level of respect for homeowners. You tell them, look, you can't hang out over here. They respect that coming from a homeowner versus coming from an apartment building.
I would love to see more Habitat homes, because I can see how the neighborhood is changing because of the home ownership. I'm seeing neighborhood transform into what it should be. Once you get to know all your neighbors in the neighborhood, you kind of protect each other. You protect their property, you protect their children.
Habitat builds love, really. It builds love and family and peace.
They're living in these homes and that it'll be there for them and for their children and for next generations. And there's a real sense of pride and satisfaction and a good feeling knowing that you've been able to be involved in something like this. It's a great legacy to know that you've helped to build a home for someone.